everyone, and thank you so much for joining us for this seminar, which we are really pleased to be holding this Thursday morning on the topic of staying safe online while working remotely, which is obviously very pertinent at the moment, with the vast majority of us who are able to working from our homes. Today, the session we're holding is in collaboration with Technorizon, who are international IT security providers, and the speaker is Ricardo De Enna, who is the UK country manager for Technorizon. He'll be giving you a bit more information about what the company does. And just so you know, it's a collaborative session, so please feel free to chip in with any questions you have over the course of while Ricardo is speaking, or if not, at the end of the session, there'll also be time for you to ask any further questions you might have as well. So without further ado, I'm going to now pass over to Ricardo.
Thank you, Hannah, and good morning, everyone. And hello to those on YouTube, live visitors. Today we're going to speak about covering about how to secure or how to work remotely secure. First thing is, what a sunny day, right, in London. I hope everyone is safe and sound at home or anywhere. Let's kick off speaking about a little bit about us. As Hannah mentioned, we are a group with offices in Spain, in mainly Madrid, in Barcelona, and in Dubai, in India, in Portugal, and we cover IT cybersecurity aspects for any kind of company. So if you're a small company or a big company, we are here to partner with you and try to cover your cybersecurity needs. And these days, super hot topic. Everyone's asking me a lot of questions about cybersecurity. Actually, these days, you probably will ask me about Zoom or WhatsApp, is the government spying us, etc., etc. So let's kick off and let's start with some stats, if I may. Nobody is used to work remotely, right? This is everything new for us. But good thing is, in the UK, we are slightly more used than in Spain. In Spain, actually, you probably agree with me. If the boss doesn't see you sit down in the chair, it's like, what are you doing? Where's this guy? Is in the bar? Never mind. But here, it is more common, but still, anywhere, same problems. We have seen, based on the EU, on the GDPR, the ICO guys from the government, that due to the coronavirus outbreak, that has increased a lot on the news about our cybersecurity problems, right? Because it's not the same to be in the office where you can, let's say, lock the door, all right, and you can have your door as the first layer of impact. And now people are remotely somewhere, then you need to protect some other things. So according to Barracuda Networks, phishing emails is the main 600% spike on phishing emails. We will cover about what is a phishing email, how to spot it. That's super cool to know, and you must know. Increase on the scareware, criminals taking advantage of outbreak. Who here have not received an email or a WhatsApp or an SMS saying, or even your neighbor saying, yeah, I read the other day that there's a cure for that. The vaccine is over. So let's see what it is, etc. Fake news. It's really hot topic. And these days, because everyone is super demanding on internet, because you're bored, right? You're at home. So you need to go to internet to fulfill your curiosity, and it's super strange or super difficult to try to differentiate what is fake news and what is not. All right, so we will cover that thing. And increase of data leaks. Obviously, if you are at home and you're not having this sensation of someone is monitoring me, someone is I'm at office or I'm at home. So it's super easy if there's some sort of small a small way to leak information with a USB. This is a USB. This is 5 terabytes. 5 terabytes here using a USB. So imagine if I'm mad with the company and I plug this thing on the computer and I leak the data of my customers. My boss will notice that? Well, that's one of the challenge. Now let's go to where the sectors by phishing attacks, because we mentioned that's the main hot topic, the main thing that is it's needed. You need to know now where hitting these guys. They are hitting to financial institutions. So if you are working for a bank or for a financial institution, even if you're not the IT guy, I'm not expecting you to know about IT, but you should be aware that your company is at risk, because these financial institutions are bad guys, knows that you got the money, and they will try to attack you to ask for a random, ask for some money. Payments. So if you are in payment section, that means accountants, that means all kind of we will see about TravelX, this exchange company, a currency company exchange. We will see if you are those guys, also you are target. Social media or webmail or telecoms. You see, there's a lot of vectors that are potentially at risk. And by risk, I mean, maybe you feel like you're safe and so on at home, but your email service, for instance, is in the cloud. The cloud is someone's computer, right, connected to internet. So we need to protect that cloud too. We need to be sure that our IT manager is protecting that cloud, right? So that is the main thing. So we can see that in the news. We can see that if you see my screen, there's a really nice here next to my place in Hammersmith, called Hammersmith Medicines Research. These guys, they were about to find on the research about a vaccine for COVID-19, and they get hacked by ransomware. That means they encrypt all the devices and ask for a ransom payback if they want the data back. That's not good, man, because these guys, they were they were researching about COVID-19 and how to afford it and how to take over that. And now these guys, these bad guys, they hack them. So it's not good. But it's not good either to them to have nothing in place and they get hacked. So not good either. And the World Health Organization, super hot topic these days, they try to break that. And they're reporting every day that they're trying to hack the website, trying to impersonate, trying to change the website, to change the data, to change the information, to change the links. So imagine a bad guy can change a link on that website, and you go and click that because it's okay. It's the World Health Organization, so it's fair. I trust in them, right? So you go and boom, you hit them. Not good. Tupperware, credit card scammers. They stole a lot of credit cards. Or let's go back down to the bottom. TravelX, these guys, they're UK business, and they just pay $2.3 million to the bad guys. Why? Because they asked for 5 gigabytes of data of users, passwords, transactions, etc., of TravelX. And the bad guy says, if you don't give me 2.3 million, all right, I will publish this 5 gigabytes of data on internet, and your users will be exposed. So it's not only reputation, it's also a thing of your company could go south. So we should take measures and definitely not pay bad guys. That's not good. These guys, not good. Sorry to say, TravelX. If TravelX is hearing me, sorry, guys, not good. Don't pay. So, big 5 challenge that I put here together that we will cover today, and they will secure your environment of remote work. First, unsecure home Wi-Fi. Yeah, we are here on our homes, So the Wi-Fi that we got here is not a corporate one, right? It's a home use one. So you probably don't have your Wi-Fi secure because it's your home. So what's the point to secure my Wi-Fi at home, right? And you probably have your password, the default password. So if someone here trying to steal my Wi-Fi, they probably can, because it's the default password that underneath the router is written there. So not good. 2, lack of IT resources. Yeah, IT guys, they're super busy these days. They're trying to, they're like firemen. They're trying to extinguish every fire that everywhere, right? So it's super difficult to be up to date, to help you with all of the help desk. Like my Microsoft Windows is not working. So what should I do, right? Should I call IT guys? And the IT guys are so busy. So what I do, I don't work. Tough guys, lack of IT resources. 3, lack of monitoring and visibility. We mentioned earlier, if you are safe and sound at home, but you don't have the sensation that you can do anything and you're not monitored, it's super risky, because you probably have bad things, bad ideas, like what happened if I get fired on this company? Should I backup my data, what have been done? So what point is my data and is the data of the company? So super scary, super scary. 4, unhappy employees handling critical data. We just mentioned that. So it's not really secure to get your data out of your company. And actually, it's not good to get out of your of your corporate computer. What about mobile phones? What about USB sticks? All that thing is super critical. And number 5 is unpatched software. I know that patching, and we will talk about this in a minute, it's a pain, right? Because nobody likes to go Windows Update and patch. But we saw that if you don't patch, you have 90% more chances to get hacked. Why? Because bad guys, they use that unpatched systems to get through your computer, to get through your data. So if you don't patch, it's like not wearing a helmet. Who these days doesn't wear a helmet to riding a bike, right? Okay, I want to feel the freedom in my hair, etc., etc. That's cool, but knowing how you will not use a helmet if you're riding a bike, right? These days. Cool. So we just present the 5 remote working challenge. Let's see the biggest challenge that the IT guys have and what can we help them, right? So if you see the screen here, you see 2 months ago, the user gets in the office and everything was inside the office and everything was controlled inside the office. So as I mentioned earlier, if you put a big firewall, a big door as a layer of cybersecurity to your perimeter business, is almost enough, right? But now, these days, it's user-centric. That means I'm not longer at the office. So I need to still have access to Salesforce. I need to access to Gmail or to my Office 365 corporate mail, or to SAP, or to Workday, or my data resources, anything, right? So it's super difficult. So what to do, or how we overcome this, how we do it? First tip, top tip, use VPN. What is a VPN? It's called virtual private network. What that hell means? That means that your communications goes through a tunnel from your computer, as you can see in the screen, from your computer to the office. So it's encrypted in a tunnel, so nobody can see inside the tunnel, right? And if someone tries to break that tunnel and spy on your communications and see your usernames, your password, your data, etc., the communication cuts. They get cut, so they cannot see anything, right? So it's encrypted end-to-end. That means this guy knows how read your encrypted data, right? So it's encrypted. I will do a demo later on. No, whatever. I'm gonna do it now. I'm feel risky today. Let's try to open a VPN. How it works, right? Let's go to Firefox here, and let's show my my IP. My IP is where I'm located, my external location. All right. So if you see my IP now is 77, 96, etc., etc. So I'm in the United Kingdom at Wimbledon. That's where I live. Cool. So now I'm going to open a VPN to connect back to my office. So let's try to do that. Let's try to do that. How I do it? Simple. I use Ransomware for living. My office give me the possibility to use this VPN. So if I connect, and crossing fingers that will connect, that means I'm going to establish a tunnel between my computer here in Wimbledon to my office back in Madrid, to my headquarters. Right? And if we again go to show my IP to show where I'm based, show my IP to show where I'm based, all right, I can locate it and say I'm in Madrid now. So physically, I'm still in Wimbledon, but I'm tunnelizing all my data to the headquarters in Madrid, and it's going through Madrid to internet. So from a from the public view, I'm virtually in Madrid. Okay, makes sense? Feel free to ask any questions there. I'm going to disconnect the VPN. All right, next thing. Next to do, use a multi-factor authentication. What is that multi-factor authentication? What is that, Ricardo? I'm not a techie guy. I'm not. Hold on. I'm going to explain you really few simple words. Multi-factor authentication, as you can read, is to grant access to company data only after successfully presenting 2 or more pieces of evidence, right? For instance, if you are going to connect to your Salesforce, or you're going to connect to Office 365 or any corporate one, it is required for cybersecurity aspect to add this multi-factor authentication. That's my top tip. And how we do that? Simple. It's something that I have, for instance, my mobile, my mobile phone, something that I know, my username, all right, and something that I am, for instance, my fingerprint, all right. Make sense? So if I do check all those layers, so password is okay, my thumb means is Ricardo, all right, and this guy owns or have this mobile, all checks up, boom, 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 you enter, grant access. It's like in the movies, right? Something like in the movies that you can read the iris and the thing and the whatever. You guys want to try it? Let's try it. Let's try. Why not? Let's go to my Salesforce, for instance. You see my screen? I'm going to access to my Salesforce. All right. I can access using username and password, but I'm going to use multi-factor authentication. How I do that? Simple. See my screen. To access to Salesforce, he is asking me to a username first or an email. That's my username. That's my password. It's asking me to my password. So I know my password, right? So I'm gonna send push. And now on my phone, all right, you're not going to see because it's my phone here. I got here a multi-factor authentication, all right, saying, oh, we detect that in that computer, someone called Ricardo Diana is trying to access to Salesforce using your credentials. You agree? Of course, it's me, it's myself. So I just need to click on approve. And as soon as I click on approve, all right, that guy will say, oh, they just approved, boom, and you enter. So if Ricardo doesn't have this phone, he cannot enter, right? So it's a layer of security. Obviously, if you lost your phone, there's methods to recover your password, because imagine you are, somehow I lost my phone at home because I cannot go anywhere. So I lost my phone. Oh, my phone just blackout, whatever, right? There's methods to overcome the thing. Cool. All right, let's move on. Patching. We mentioned earlier that patching is a pain in the thing, that nobody wants to do that. But your IT guy will encourage you to patch as much as you can. So my top tip advice on patching on this one is patch as much as you can, and don't be crazy. It's just needed once a week on Fridays. You're at home, it's simple. So if you're running Windows, for instance, you go to Windows Update, something like that, boom, and you click on check for updates, and then you download, boom, and then you install automatically, and you go grab coffee, you go and call your baby, whatever. It's not that hard. Obviously you can, and I can assure you, if your system is patched, you will be less chance to get hacked by 90%, right? Cool. What else? Yep. Next thing, spot phishing. As mentioned, I put this thing almost at the end, the spot phishing, because it's the main important part. That is phishing. Let's start by defining what a phishing email. Everyone here knows what a spam email, right? It is something that it's an unwanted email that you didn't ask for, and it is there, right? So what about if it's a spam with a requirement that asks you something and engage you and try to phish you, right? Let's hit some examples, right? For instance, this one. This is an email that I received myself, right, from HMRC. All right, yeah, HMRC, I trust them. So I got here and say, please find attached report from HMRC and a PDF there. Hey, come on, it's HMRC business support email. So why not? So I will click on that PDF. Why? Because that PDF is not a virus. Nothing related to a virus. Why? Because the antivirus will detect if there's a virus contained in that PDF. But that PDF doesn't contain any kind of virus. It contains a simple task to do to your computer that is encrypt all the data. And once you're encrypted all the data, ask the user for 1 Bitcoin. So the bad guys will be 1 Bitcoin richer than yesterday. And today Bitcoin is 8,000 pounds, something like that. So that's the trouble X. They asked 2.3 million. That's a lot of Bitcoins, right? So how do you spot it? So if you spot it, if you are Bit Sherlock and you see on the from email, you can see that no reply at notifications hmc.gov.co.uk. Oh dear, where's the R? There's no R. Did you spot it? Let's say another example. BBBA. I don't know if it's BBBA online today, but the biggest or the best bank so far that I see that they encourage with all the cyber measures is BBVA and Santander. Both are super cool them, and they ask you every time, we will not send you any type of email that you need to asking for your credentials, etc., etc., etc. So if you see an email that is impersonating us, just delete it, right? Super cool. So for instance, this one is BBVA Net Cash with Excel on it. Don't click on that Excel. And if you read it, you probably read that it's not super good Spanish, right? Not good. What about spam with, phishing with coronavirus? A lot. Here's some example. Ministry of Health news portal. Ministry of Health? What is that? Is that a thing in the UK? Really? Good day. We have an outbreak in China. Click here to click here to share attached related updates. You're gonna click that? Why? I didn't ask that thing. And why my spam doesn't block that thing? Because your spam needs an extra layer that is you. We'll see in a minute. Next one is again with shipment of coronavirus. Who here, raise your hands virtually? Who here asked for in Amazon for face mask? Everyone, right? Who here it was like, why is why is that late? Why is taking like 15 days to take my mask? I need my mask. I need my gloves. I need everything, right? So if you have by chance an email saying like, oh, sorry, we're late, you're most likely to click. And guys, bad guys know that thing. So they're trying to phish you. So not good. This one, corona treatment. Please find attached a new corona treatment that someone in Chicago has just came with. What? Really? Not good. So please spot that phishing, right? Some infected corona related domains. I put here some of them. And thanks to my friends of Bilbao Panda guys, they helped me to put it all together in a list. And this is some of them. And we have seen that these domains have increased a lot since this, obviously since this corona, but that's not the big thing. We've seen that many people trying to, I want to be sure that I'm up to date to the latest corona news. So they go there and they try to click there and they're like, yeah, I want to get, I want the report. Yes, please download. But what? No. So if you, I will try to share this later on. But anyway, if you need the presentation, I will share with you with this data on it to be sure that you say or you tell to your IT, please block the access to these websites because they are not good. All right. Final top tip. It is train employees. Be yourself trained. So if you spot, it's a bit related with the last one. So if you spot phishing, if you spot spam, you're less likely to be phished. So what is the big problem of training cybersecurity? Honestly, I know a lot about this thing. I've been around teaching cybersecurity for 25 years now. Oh, well, myself only 11 years. That's a bit, right? It's usually super boring and nobody wants to hear what to do, what not to do, what is the risk, etc., etc. So it's like, man, it's so boring. So I came up with a plan, and you can ask your IT manager to have the plan. Is why you don't do it fun? Why you don't do it this, try to spot it as we just did. I'm gonna show you an email and you will click if it's a spam or not. So instead of be a super training that nobody cares about it, I will convert it into a game. So I will do a top tip of cybersecurity human firewalls that you will become at the end to who is the best spotting phishing emails. And that will help you and your company to get more secure, for sure, 100%. All right, that was my last top tip. Let's recap, shall we? Your takeaways today. 1, use VPN to encrypt your communications. 2, use multi-factor authentication to connect to your most critical assets like Salesforce, SAP, or CRMs, ERPs, or even emails or whatever. Check for updates. Check yourself. Don't wait till your IT to tell you, hey, you need to check your updates, right? Or what? My computer is getting crazy having updates. No, you should go. You should maintain your computer. Come on, be responsible, right? 4, always be cautious about suspicious links, right? Because again, your endpoint antivirus will not detect that kind of virus because it's not a virus, all right? And finally, top 5 tips is train your employees. Be yourself trained, all right? Cool, that was the takeaway. Briefly, about, again, slightly about us. Cybersecurity consultant, Spanish chamber member of the chamber in the UK, here to help. And we help with web security, we help with network security and visibility, we help these days a lot with backup, we help with DLP, okay, to prevent the USBs to get plugged, and what is getting out from that USB is allowed the user to do that or not, and what was on that USB, and that USB should be encrypted, yes or no, right? Cloud security, because if you have now all your assets in the cloud, you should secure the cloud, right? Simple. So, and super hot topic is the IoT, the Internet of Things, and OT, that is operational things. That means if you are in a company that's industrial, and they use SCADA or they use this kind of robots, these kind of robots are now a big target for bad guys. Because imagine a manufacturer, Mercedes or Aston Martin here in the UK, right? Imagine Aston Martin, this kind of robot that is painting. Imagine this painting goes wild and start painting somewhere. Not good, because that things that are connected to internet, we need to take measures and protect the things too. All right. Most important things to take away is this email, cyberenquiries@technohorizongroup.com. You can ask us anything from anything about cybersecurity, right? Hannah, I don't know if it's time for Q&A. How are we doing with
Yeah.
with
Doing
the
great.
questions?
Yeah, thank you. That was super interesting. We do indeed have some questions from the participants. So one thing I'd like to start off with, I was just wondering, obviously you've talked a lot about kind of more computer focused, but what about mobile phones, and how can we go about securing those as well?
Yeah, really good question. About mobile phones. Oh, actually, mobile phone is part of your remote kit as employee, right? So we should protect that thing. If we are now protecting also the computer, we should protect that thing, right? So there's really old-fashioned techniques called bring your own device. I don't know if someone here have heard about it, but it's what about if not only the device itself, but what about if it's a personal device and I want to use this personal device to connect to the office? So where is the line between it is my personal device, but I'm going to use it for the company, for the office to work? So we need to take measures on it. So ask your IT to use techniques on bring your own device measures to take securement that devices do. Really good questions. Any other?
Yeah, we got some more. Another participant has asked if there's any free VPN kind of installs around that you could recommend to us.
Great. Yeah, there are free VPN, but as I always said, if something is free, maybe you are the product. So recap for a little bit if it's worth it to use something free, and actually to use something free for business, for corporates, is not even good. So even I personally use a VPN, personally, not for work. I use a personal VPN, and it's not free, but it's £20 a year. Man, £20 a year is nothing, right? So invest a little bit on what really matters. That is £20 all right? And I feel more secure with my connections. So nobody can read my connections. If someone trying to read my connections, boom, get disconnected. Another really good question. Any other?
Yes, we have a few more. Another one someone else has asked is, what is the best way that we can protect ourselves against ransomware?
Oh, that's really good questions. First thing is, well, you need actually two things. One, you need to filter, to have a proper filter on your email server. That means you should first you should delegate the first layer of security to your anti-spam filter, will I say. So it is something that is suspicious, your Office 365 or something connected to your Office 365 should filter, should decide on your behalf if that contains a link, a malicious link or not. There's techniques to do that. That's the first layer. Second layer, obviously, is you. As I mentioned, the top tip of today is to be train yourself. You have now time to train yourself, actually. So train yourself and you will become a human firewall, and you will be the best one to decide if that email is a phishing email or not. All right.
Brilliant. Yeah, thank you very much. Another question that's quite topical at the moment is, obviously with the rise of people carrying out events online, such as ourselves in this one, Zoom has been under the public spotlight quite a lot for being for there having been security concerns raised about it. What's your opinion on this, and what could you advise us to do?
It's really funny that you ask this thing, because everyone, well, not everyone, but many people asking. And personally, my friends, they know what I'm do for living, and actually, I said them I'm a hacker with tie. Well, not tie today, but I know what I'm doing on cyber, and they ask me a lot of these things. So about Zoom, let's do something. We have 4 minutes. You dedicate 4 more minutes.
Yes, that's fine. That's fine.
Try to open something that I prepare for this Zoom thing, right? Okay, can you see my screen?
Yeah, can see it well. No worries.
Cool. So that is my my Zoom application that today we're using it. And the big concerns about Zoom first is, what version of Zoom are you using? And today the version is version 4.6.11, because anything in this world is 100% secure, right? Anything, because all the apps are being made by human beings, and human beings, we made errors. So they and bad guys are there to check out the error. So to answer simple question, if it's Zoom secure, is secure, I will say yes. Zoom, it is secure, but you need to be sure to have the latest version, right? And I put something here. What happened, right? Like detected problems with Zoom. You can read it here. Problem with Zoom was they shared with Facebook, and that's the data, and that data was not, or that issue was not related on the TNC, so not good for Zoom. They say sorry, and they put a patch and say, yep, sorry, it will never happen again. Big thing is the preference of mobile app. Why? Because the vulnerability only affects on Zoom with the PC, with the computer, right? If you are using Zoom on your phone, the only concern is the preference. But that's like everything, right? When you download an app, the app will ask you, oh, this app requires access to your camera. Cool. It will ask to access to your phone data. Cool. It will access to your contacts. Cool or not cool? It will need to access to your other social media. Why is that? Maybe not good. So always be concerned, right? Another problem with Zoom that they have in the past is password on deep webs. They have a small leak that some usernames and passwords were founded on the deep web. The deep web is not that deep, anyone can access. And actually the best way to know if your username has been and your password has been compromised is to check that website, haveibeenpwned.com. So if you go to haveibeenpwned.com and you put your email, it will be anonymous. Don't worry about that. You will click hit and check if I've been pwned. It will be a list on where your password has been compromised. If you appear there, change your password. And third thing, private recording in public. They say that someone phones public on a public website some private videos, so not good for Zoom. They also say, don't worry, we will take measures on it. It will not happen again. Security bugs when file sharing. So the mainly vulnerability that everyone was speaking about last week was exactly that thing. If the vulnerability was on a Windows PC, that if I share file with all the attendees, it potentially, okay, have my username and my password leaked on that file. So not good. They fix it and it's done. And the most important thing is, so far, Zoom is not encrypted end-to-end. You remember like the VPNs that do encrypt from the laptop to the office, and if someone gets between, boom, gets disconnected. So far, Zoom has not that feature, but it will come, right? So what they have done, they upgrade the customer, they audit the code, and the major problem that only affected the PC is now solved. So if you ask me if Zoom is now secure, I will say yes, but you should take measures. You should take your measures to be sure that is that way, like VPN, etc. All right. And I put that it is the end of Zoom. Well, yesterday we heard about Google saying to all the employees, please don't use Zoom. They banned that Zoom. And the New York Times itself, the two big companies, they ban Zoom. I think it's not that hard. Okay, they can change some bits, but shit happens, right? Good question. Any other?
Yeah, fair enough. But no, that's a really, really good answer. Really interesting to know as well what you think about it. Okay, another question that we have is what are your top tips for telling if a link is suspicious? Because you mentioned to be aware of that earlier.
Of the link, cool. There's again two ways to detect that. First one is without clicking, all right, is to go the mouse over the link and check where it's going. Because there's something that repeatedly everywhere, that is what I call the happy clickers. Those are users that they are blinded and they go clicking everywhere without knowing where they're going, right? So that's not good. So first thing is to take your internal, your personal measures to be sure that where you're going is a legitimate one. If you have doubts, if you are not sure of what this thing is going, just copy and paste it on virustotal.com, virustotal.com. Actually, virustotal.com is a Andalusian company, really, really cool, that is now part of Google, and they can check if that URL is good. It's not, it will be related to spam, to a bad guy, to malware, or to what. That is the first top tip. Second top tip is corporate. Okay, speak with your IT manager and say, some geek guy called Ricardo told me that there's some techniques that you can put on your Office 365 layer to check before you have in that email to your inbox to check that link where it goes. And it goes to a malware sites like the ones that we listed. Just disable the link. You will have the email, but it will be disabled. All right. Sorry, you're about to hear my little one.
Do we have time for a last question or two?
Sure.
Or, yeah, sure. Okay. Well, we've just got two more at the moment. One is, could you also just because it's so important at the moment, could you please just recap your top tips as well for spotting a phishing email, very briefly?
Sorry. So
just the top ways for spotting a phishing email. All
right. The top tips to let's put this thing with the cyber inquiry. Sorry. To spot a phishing email, the first thing that I will check is the from. All right. If the from doesn't look great, it's suspicious. Second thing, I will see if it got any attachment or any link, and then I will see if the link goes through a bad place. But the top tip is, if something on that email is telling you that you win a prize, you win the lotto, you are the one to have the best slot for a cattle for tomorrow, is like, yeah, what in the world? Yeah, I want that. Suspect. So be a little bit of Sherlock in your lives. That's my top tip.
That's a good one to remember. Okay, finally, last question is, how does Technorizon typically help the companies that you work with, and what's the typical profile of the clients that you work with?
We work with all variety of companies. Sometimes it's a big, massive company. For instance, in Spain, we work with BBVA or with Santander or with La Caixa, right? Big banks, or with Zara, Inditex. So with these guys, they already have in place their IT departments, and they also have the IT outsourcing departments. And because we are on a niche, that means we are only cybersecurity specialists. We don't know if that computer is better than other, or they should go to Amazon instead of Google or whatever. We don't know that thing. We only know about cyber, and we are hyper specialists on that. We help those end users like Santander or like Inditex, Zara, or like BBVA to take the correct decisions and to implement the best or the cutting edge technology on their premises to have to increase the layer of security. That's for the big companies, but that's our well served. But the small and medium ones, right? They have no budget. They usually don't have budget for cybersecurity. Actually, they don't know about cybersecurity. So they need external guys. They need the IT guy that helps with the website. They need the IT guy that helps with the computers, with the office, with the help desking, etc., etc. And they also need us. They also need cybersecurity specialists to help them to be up to date on the cybersecurity needs, right? And sometimes that we work together or partner with the IT guy already in place, or sometimes we work directly with the customer. It literally depends. We don't mind. We just want to get them secure. That's all. It's like lawyers. Probably there's some lawyers on the attendees list, right? If you have a problem with your in the business, you have problem in the business, you probably go to your lawyer that is business related with contracts, etc., etc. It's not the same lawyer if you have problems with your wife, right? They both are lawyers, yes, but one knows about laws about how to handle your wife or your husband, and the other one knows about contract, etc., etc., and business, right? Or doctors. You have a lung problem, you go to a lung specialist doctor. You don't go to a fake doctor to help with your lungs, right? This is exactly the same. Good question.
Brilliant. Thank you, Ricardo. Well, that's all the questions that we received, and a couple more too. So thank you so much for your time this morning. It's been really interesting. If anyone listening would like to get in touch with Ricardo to find out more, as he said, the email address is there on the screen, also the website and a telephone number as well. Also, this webinar is going to have been recorded. We'll have it saved on our YouTube channel, so please do feel free to share it with any friends or colleagues that you think would find it interesting or useful as well. And yeah, once again, thank you very much, Ricardo, for your time this morning, and I hope everyone has a lovely rest of the day.
Thank you to the Spanish Chamber. Thank you, Hannah, and take care, everyone. Be safe.